I'm Julie Albaugh from Ohio Weddings, and today I am with Jen Dill and Jason Dill from the Ritzy Rose, and we are going to talk about their company. And I know you got married in 2010. Can you tell me a little bit about your wedding and how that inspired you in your company?
Yeah, we wanted it to be really personal. And we wanted a lot of handcrafted touches and things that would reflect who we are as a couple in order to set our wedding apart from everyone else's. And so we did things like I made my dress. We printed our own invitations at a local letterpress shop. We went out and found our own table linens instead of renting from a company. So we kind of went in a different route to make every detail a little bit different, a little bit special.
Yeah, weddings are really becoming more customized these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Jason, I mean, can you tell me a little bit about the day and what went on? And
absolutely. The day certainly was filled with our special touches, and I think people really appreciated the details. Our photographers met with us, and they were like, all right, there's some special details, and that was a very long conversation we had because there were so many little things that we had thought about during our engagement and wanted to include, and then things we had worked on. I think Jen almost fulfilled a number of bucket list type projects that she wanted to work on, from doing actual letterpress to making her dress to screen printing. A lot of those things came through in our details, and kind of was what inspired us to go on from there.
so I mean, as far as after the wedding, what inspired you to start the Ritzy Rose?
Well, I think Jen always had a dream to design for herself and to create some sort of company. And after that, and after our wedding photos got so much buzz, we decided to take some of that and say, hey, we can do this and offer it to people. And that's really where we got our start, and just kind of what it inspired us and what were our favorite things from our wedding, and to see if other people would like what we did.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you made your own wedding dress. Now, how many hours did that take you to do that?
Well, I kept track for a while, and I lost count after several hundred, but it took 9 or 10 months.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's such a long time.
Yeah, that was actually what I studied in college. It was apparel design with a focus in bridal, and so looking back to my senior fashion show, I made 8 wedding gowns, and so I knew that I always wanted to make mine, and I didn't know quite how long it would take, and I just poured my heart into it, and it was such an awesome process.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you start your business out of your home?
Yes.
Okay, now how long, I mean, what was your thought about making this business plan for this company? How many years did you think, oh, this is going to take me to do this? And
well, it's interesting. We had this rough 5-year plan because I worked a corporate job. I designed for a larger company, and I did this on the side. And so we thought over these 5 years we would slowly grow the company, build our brand, develop our clientele. And because of getting a celebrity wedding pretty early on, it took that 5-year plan and rolled it into about 9 or 10 months. And shortly after, I left my corporate job, and we were doing this full time.
yeah, I heard that well, this is going to be funny for everyone to hear, that you got the Miranda Lambert wedding from Twitter. Can you explain how that happened?
Well, I will. It was actually a person that I had worked with was following me and saw me talking about my wife's company and our company and started following that. And she was also following some other people who were designing Miranda's wedding. And one day they asked, hey, we might need some help from some friends. And she said, hey, you need to know the Ritzy Rose. After a few tweets back and forth between the Junk Gypsies and the Ritzy Rose, the next day, Jen got a phone call from Texas, and it was Miranda's mom on the other line asking her if she would do Miranda's Bouquet. So,
yeah.
So what was your feeling at that point when you were in the car when this
I was
happened?
in the car, I was driving to work, and it was pure chaos and excitement. I looked down at my phone and I saw that it was a Texas area code, so I actually pulled over because I thought there's a really small chance that this could be her mom calling and this could actually be happening. So I didn't want to drive just in case it was her, and sure enough it was, and we had an awesome conversation, and after I hung up the phone, I screamed a little bit with excitement. I did a little dance, so it was pretty great.
So now, what kind of products do you create with Ritzy Rose as far as?
Our primary product is Brooch Bouquets, where we take vintage jewelry, and we have thousands of pieces in our studio, but we also use our clients' pieces if they have special family heirlooms, and we create a bridal bouquet that's made out of brooches instead of flowers. That's been our most popular product. That was something that I made for my wedding. Something else that's been really great for us are wedding signs, little pennant flags for the flower girl to walk down the aisle with, saying, "Here comes the bride," and announcing different milestones throughout the day, like time to cut the cake. And then beyond that, we've branched out into doing jewelry, hair pieces, sashes, everything with that vintage spin and that, really special, elegant kind of sparkle, but just a way to incorporate that throughout your day.
Now, when the Miranda Lambert wedding happened, after the wedding took place, what happened after?
Well, everyone loves Miranda and Blake. They're like this dream couple. So their wedding got a lot of attention. She was holding the bouquet on the cover of several national magazines. And I think at that point, it was really the first time that the public was seeing a brooch bouquet in such a big way. So it generated a lot of buzz. So the interesting thing, since we were such a small company, not everyone knew who made it. So we did a lot of grassroots marketing, hopping on just different blogs and commenting and just, thanking everyone for complimenting it and letting them know that we made it and, here's where you can find more info, because we didn't have a PR person. But we got a lot of traffic from that, and, we have a huge fan base in Texas now thanks to her. And yeah, so it helped. That's what helped accelerate our business plan.
Yeah, so let's move into picking, because I know there's a lot of people that maybe don't understand what picking is. So I want you to kind of explain what picking is.
You might be better at explaining it than I am.
Well, to get us started, our picking came from our actual wedding. We were constantly going to flea markets, yard sales, antique malls, finding stuff for our wedding. All the tablescapes were vintage bottles and tea kettles and things like that. So that's where we really got introduced. Well, I got introduced. Jen's been doing it for a lot longer. But I think you see a lot on TV about the art of picking, being going into an old barn and discovering something that's been sitting there and it has this great value. Ours is a little bit different in that we love to go to flea markets and stuff and find that piece that 100 people have walked by, but we know what to do with that piece and we can see the beauty in it. So instead of the actual piece being something that we turn around and turn into something to sell, we take that piece and create with it into something to sell. So I think it's fun. Our vision becomes a little bit different than other people's when we're out picking.
Now, can you explain that now in the Springfield flea market is considered what I consider the antique capital of the world. So don't you go to Springfield's? Absolutely.
We were just talking on the way here. We make this trip all the time. We are back and forth between Springfield and Pickerington, just outside Columbus, all the time. To come to the big flea market, also to come to the malls that are here. But we seem to be here all the time, and we certainly do a lot of shopping here, and was one of the first big flea market antique weekends that we had was coming here.
It's one of our favorites.
Oh, yeah. Great. Now, we'll be back with more Ohio weddings, and Jen will be back with more bridal accessories. And we're back, and Jen is going to share with us some of the bridal accessories and brooch bouquets from the Ritzy Rose. Now, what did you bring with you today?
I brought brooch bouquets to give you guys an example of some of the different styles and shapes that we create. And I also brought some of the necklaces, which we've recently started designing. And then also a few boutonnieres for the groom or the father of the bride or the groomsmen.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said this particular bouquet was from your wedding?
Mm-hmm. First one I ever made.
Now, when you are collecting these brooches, how do you go about finding, what it is that you want to use for each bouquet?
There's a lot of things I take into consideration. I always have several clients on dock. So I always like to have a good idea of what colors each girl wants and what style pieces she's looking for, and that will determine whether I'm going to buy more enamel flowers or more rhinestone pieces. But then there's always certain pieces that I know just from experience look good in bouquets, and certain ones that I try to avoid. So I look for a great color, and again, always that little bit of sparkle, and of course the right price when I buy so many of them. And that's it.
Now, you told me, I believe, that with Miranda's bouquet that she had some kind of party, and then all the family members put in certain, brooches?
Yes, it was her bridal shower, and this was actually a surprise to her, but her mother and her bridesmaids arranged this, and every guest brought a brooch, and they either shopped for it or it was, a family piece, but every piece was special and given to her at her shower. And then she sent all 71 pieces to me, and I added a few special touches of my own, but I created the bouquet from all of these meaningful pieces for her, which is really neat.
Now, as far as some of the necklaces that you have here today, what are some of the trends that you see in some of the, the pieces that you have, and what customers are looking at?
Definitely sparkle, as you can tell. I think every one of these pieces has sparkle. Even if I'm mixing it with something like lace, that kind of takes the sparkle down a notch, and it juxtaposes it, but it's still making the bride feel really elegant and beautiful and giving her something really unique.
Now, with the gentleman, this is definitely very different than just getting a flower for the gentleman. So how did you come up with this idea to come up with something so different?
Well, I have to give my husband Jason credit for that. He started thinking about the fact that, like you said, grooms don't always want to wear a flower on their lapel, and they a lot of times are unfortunately left out of the wedding design and planning process. So this is their chance to take their personality, their interests, their careers, and kind of combine everything and wear it on their lapel. And he does these incredible things for car guys. He includes a spark plug and a little flower, and there's always a little bit of bling to make the bride happy, but grooms are so happy to wear these.
Now, is there a specific type that has been more popular than others?
The musician boutonniere, which is really cool. It combines a dial, a volume dial, some guitar strings, and a guitar pick. That's been really popular, and actually some guys wear that for proms too. We've had some younger guys into that.
So prom is even... Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And then the shotgun shell boutonniere, or bullet boutonnieres, those have really been popular too, because tons of guys love to hunt, they love to fish. We have lots of outdoorsy type designs for them.
Now, as far as color schemes this year for the brooch bouquets, what colors do you think will be very popular?
Neutrals are pretty big. This gray and black and white and crystal one is pretty popular. And then really soft colors too. I have one beautiful pale pink bouquet, and it's almost like a blush tone, and brides really respond to that.
Now, with destination weddings, I hear brooch bouquets are very popular because it's very difficult to take flowers on a plane.
Sure. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. You don't have to arrange a local florist for the bouquet. You can plan in advance, and you can carry it with you. I've had brides tell me that they shipped their luggage and their clothes, and they carried this. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, this is definitely something that they can, brides don't want to have to worry about their bouquet. They don't want to leave that up to chance.
Yeah, so if they wanted to find out more information about your company, where could they go to find out more information?
Well, we are everywhere. You can look on Instagram, Pinterest, of course, Twitter and Facebook, but a great place to start is just theRitzyRose.com, and you can find all of our other outlets there.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jen, for being with us
you.
today.
Thanks for
Well, now we will see the wedding of Jen and Jason, and that is the end of our show, and we'll see you next week.